Welcome everybody to the Creative Video Editing Techniques with Adobe webinar. We're happy to have all of you here. Thank you for signing up. As you may know, this session is part of TUFF, the Taylor's University Film Festival 2023. So before we begin, I need to kindly remind everybody of the house rules during this workshop. Number 1, please turn off your microphone. Number 2, please also turn off your camera. Number 3, if you have any question for our guest speakers, there will be a Slido link in the chat box. So you can post your question through that link, or you may scan this link, this QR code to get to the main page of Slido and enter the code on the screen. All right. Next, the on-campus film screening are taking place tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the Lecture Theatre 2. The entrance is free, so please do join us there too. On Friday, we are screening the award-winning film, followed by the award ceremony at Atria Mall and BO Cinema. Anyone want to join, please fill in your name in the spreadsheet. It's available in the chat box. And now, without further ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Nelson John, the Principal Solution Consultant, and Mr. Chetan Shah, the Senior Manager Strategy Development at Adobe.
Yeah, hi.
Mr. Chetan Shah. All right.
Good morning, everyone.
Gentlemen, welcome virtually to Taylor's University. We are so happy and honored to have both of you as our speakers for today's webinar. Thank you so much. Right now, I'll pass the floor to Mr. Nelson John.
Right. Hi. Good morning, everybody. So I'm Nelson from Adobe. Currently, right now, in Bangkok for some customer meeting, where I'm doing the event from within a hotel room. Everything looks fine. So I presume that you know a bit about Premiere before I start this, but I'll cover one or two basic things. But from there on, it'll be more towards the demo and some of the features. Um, and let me just share my screen. All right, jump straight into Premiere. Now, oops, there you go. All right. I'm sure you know most of the the screen by itself and some of the basic features in Premiere. Most of you are from film school, and I'm sure there's a mix of students on both sides as well. Um, the first thing for all those who are new or don't know, if you're launching Premiere Pro, you have all the panels, color, graphic, editing, and you can jump to any of them at very ease from within here, or you can have a simple shortcut. You can also reset to your saved layout or to the new workspace that you are comfortable with. Um, I know most of you know how to bring in and import files. Most of the time, what I do most of the time is go jump to assembly and then start bringing in files from within here. One way is good is just double click and then you can jump to whichever file that you want to bring in. Uh, and if you go over here, you can just say footages and then you can ping and bring it over here. Uh, but again, how many of you go down to Adobe Media Browser? So Media Browser is one good way in which you will be able to view the videos, film through, play, and then decide what are the videos that you want to pick. So this is a good way of doing it. You can save your favorite folder in which all the videos are in. So you can go to your local hard drive, users, system, and then assign that as well. So this saves a lot of time if you're getting footages from a particular folder, then you can just drive straight into that particular folder to get things done. Again, I'm going to just select multiple files over here, and then I can just write, I can say import. Right, so before I do that, I need to make sure on the media browser, let me go back to my bin. I'm going to create a new bin, say import, double click that. So it imports in here, and if I go over here, I have those files imported right inside media browser. Now, the next thing that you will most of the time will do is just jump down and try to create a project sequence based on the settings over here. And there are a few ways of doing it. One is right click, and then you can just say new, sequence from clip. One way of doing that. The second way is you can just click, drag, drop it inside the new timeline, and the new sequence is created, right? So this becomes easy for you to do. Um, and then the editing becomes even easier. So if I just go down to editing and how people edit, I don't know how many of you edit this way still, but a lot of people just go over here, then mark your ins and outs, and then you bring it down to the timeline. All right. Um, Now what I'm going to show you is another way of bringing in. So I'll just go back to assembly, right down over here. I'm going to delete this. I'll just trash that. There you go. And over here you have the list mode. You also have the icon or the folder structure mode. But what I would like to do is on this, I would like to go over here and say freeform view. I quite like this. It's great to have if you know what you want it in the timeline. Obviously, you can also select the whole thing and just say automate to sequence, and then use the editing tools over here, and then do the edit, right? So you have multiple options of doing this as well, if you know that. So just in case you do not know, let's say right click and I can say automate to sequence, and it will just go back and it will create a new order, and then it will start doing that as well. So another way of doing it, it'll just place according to order. The other thing that I like over here is if I use the tilde key next to the one, it opens up, and I'm going to have this free form in which I can then decide how the clip is supposed to flow, and I can bring all the clips over here, move it across, and there you go. And then I can decide which comes first, which comes next, and how it is, right? And which are the extra clips in the first place. So I can go over here, start with this. And the good part about this is actually I can give in my I's and O's right over here. So when I preview this, you have options of going over here and then, label the clip size. The clip size can be large, extra large. And if I say I just want this clip to be large, and that will be, substantially large as well. And that's what I want to start with. And again, if I go over here, I can just say that's first point I, and then I can go over here and say, oh, right. Sorry. So I here, so around here, oh, when I select this, and from here, then I can say I, oh, and then I can see if I want to add anything, I'll add this is as a third clip, move this to the side. So I'm trying to visually edit the clips before even it gets to the timeline. I don't know how many of you do it. This is some of the new features that came up before. And if you have not used it, you can start doing it. So somewhere from here, I can say I, and oh, there you go. I have that as well. So I can move this around, keep that in sequence, and I can say that the fall. So I can, we are just trying to spin the wheel on the edit. So I can just say oh, I, oh, and the last part over here talks to the kid. I like that wide shot all the way till here. Okay. Uh, right. Now I can select the whole thing, and I'm saying this is an extra clip. Before I do this, I can actually right click and say save as new layout. So I can say this is might be flow one. Now, if I decide to change the flow and I have a different sort of direction in which I want it to be, might be I'm not using this clip and I want this as a sequence up here. Again, I'm using small clips or less number of clips, and most of the time you might have big long clips as well. But this still shows you a story. Again, I can save this as a new layout if you want. And then what happens is you can always jump back to the old layout that you saved up to, right? So you can have multiple layouts. So I can just say this is as this is a B layout. Then you can see that both the layouts are coming up. So I can just say restore to flow one. I can jump back. Okay. So this is great. And then I can just right click and just say new sequence from clips. There you go. I have the entire thing based on my ins and outs, and it has come up to the timeline, right? You can do that, right? So easy, simple way of making sure you can do your edits down there. Um, the next thing that you might look at is most probably out here is most probably you want to give some transition and effects. I'll get into that a bit more later. Let's jump back and say that let's go back to editing. There you go. And I'm going to open up color correction. So after you import in um, some of these images, then we support all kind of cameras, including red. And when you import those, and so I didn't talk about that part of the import. Let me just go back. So if you are bringing in any other footages like red and all, you would find like a folder with the file in it. But with the media browser, you will be able to actually view those red files right from within there as well. So just show you that part as well. So media browser, if I go back to those footages, these are red files. When I click on it, automatically the files will be shown over here as a 4K clip. So you can bring those files in as well. So we support all kind of formats, just in case you're wondering. Let's jump back to editing. And here I have that clip over here. And let's switch back to color correction. So when you bring back the clip, and you need to first, check whether the colors are okay. And obviously, I'm not a colorist, but obviously there is um, a job scope for colorists which pays quite heavily in the industry if you know how to pick up a color. But as editors, you still need to do your basic, color corrections and stuff. What I would like to talk about over here is jump straight to colors. And I'll jump back to my geometry scope. So I've got some of the scopes open up. So I use the vector scope, parade and the waveform. You can just turn it on if you have not turned it on. You also have the options of using a histogram, etc. So if you go back and play this clip, you can see there is a whole bunch of green up here, and um, doing colorist work becomes a bit more complicated. We have made this job a bit more easier. Now here, the white balance is totally off. And what you can actually do is click on the white balance and go back to where you can find the footing right in there. I'll make this slightly bigger and click on that. And actually, all you need to do is just take up a white spot in that footage. When you click on it, um, close it. I didn't pick up a white spot. There you go. So over here, what it does is it gives you adds that Lumetri color effect on top, and it has done the change. So if I off this before and after, you can see the difference, right? Um, Very easy, very straightforward. But if you want to understand a bit more about it, you know, I'm not a colorist, but again, explain to you. If you do not want to automate to do this, just click on white balance. It will do that for you. I'm going to do what, I'm just going to click over here and I'll just say reset. So I'll go back to normal. If you see over here, the green is almost going too high. And what I can do is play a bit with a few things. One is I will, a lot of blacks out here, the whites are less. So what I'm going to just increase that white a bit. The tint, which is more towards green, I will turn it off all the way. And there you go. You can still have the same effect as well, right? So again, uh, easy in terms of how to do it, and you can have this applied as well. So either you use the white balance to do it, or you go back and choose and manually try to play with the exposure and all of those and see what you like. So again, color is everybody's choice and preference in the first place. Um, Again, zoom back into this clip. Here, if you see, it's totally whitewashed in terms of that. It's basically because the camera has captured all the details in. And below this basic color correction, you also have something called as creative. And we can apply a LUT. And most of the camera manufacturer has their LUT. And if you have captured it properly, you will have that LUT brought in, and it will do a proper color correction as well. RE, red, all this has those. Again, very easy. As soon as I apply, you can have that. But you can also go through all the other LUTs that we have, and there are a lot of LUTs available online, which you can view and also use. So if I go back here, I can click on each one, and if you feel that you like something, just then click on the screen that gets updated. It's a bit too dark for me, but again, you can then decide which one to use at the end of the day. That's there. But again, I can go back and click on reset. And again, if you look at the whole thing, again, look at this graph, you will be able to do some amount of color correction yourself as well. Um, Here, I would like to add more whites, increase the exposure a bit more, right? A bit of the contrast, right? Um, Reduce that, right? And increase the saturation a bit. Then go back to creative, um, and increase the vibrance a bit more. So again, before and after. Uh, you can play with the graph and try to understand this. And if you see this part as well, this is more toward the skin tone. And obviously, um, again, your kind of choice in terms of how you want to apply this as well. And this plays an important part in terms of how you want to do that as well. Again, over here as well, you can change the color and stuff. So again, colors is good enough. You have an idea about that. I'm going to do one more, which is we call Adobe Sensei driven feature. Again, over here you can see that uh, she has a really good skin tone, and when you move forward here, uh, the color becomes a bit flat. But when you shoot, sometimes at different time zones or different timings, you might lose some of the information inside that particular clip, the color wise. So if you want to really match the entire sequence of the clip so that I can get a perfect look, then what you can do is we have something called as compare view, and it has a phase detection feature. And what this is, if I say compare view, you will have compare view clicked up. You have this up here. This screen over here shows you the, let me stretch that a bit this side, shows you the entire timeline, right? So from where it is, and the entire timeline is shown out here. And this cursor is exactly at this point where you think, what is the color that you want to pick from in the first place, right? So if I feel that I like this skin tone or texture to be brought in, then all I need to do is, apply match. There you go. So again, before, after as well. But again, you also have a split screen, and now you can see what was there before and after in terms of that, this way as well, how that one and this one looks at. So you have different options of playing around with it in terms of that and how it works, right? So again, a simple, easy way of doing color correction right from within Premiere. Easy and basically a bit more simple. Um, the other thing to note is, uh, let's go back and uh, just talk a bit about um, FX, right? So let's go back to FX. Now, for all those who like FX, you have the video FX and the video transition as well. Transition wise, I won't not go into detail. It's very simple, very easy to do. All you need to do is, click on any of the transition. You need to click, drag, drop it in between, and then you have a transition up here, right? So easy to zoom around and play with as well. So you all can have a play with that. So you have got page feel and all of those. Easy that you can do. You have got wipes if you are, if you're using it. But most of the time for film, I think most of the time it's straight cuts unless and until there's too many talks. Then you can use including the morph cut as well down there. Another good way of morphing if a lot of people are talking, or there are a lot of talking heads in the scene as well. Okay, so you can give it a try. There's not that complicated, and then you can play with it a bit more. Okay, so that's very simple and easy to jump across. The next thing that I want to cover a bit on is going to be um, sound essentials. So I have this clip, and let me open this up and right, backslash to fit everything in. I'm going to mute some of those. Right.
Hi, yeah, hi. I'd like to order 3 things.
Okay.
Great. I'd like an elderberry.
Oh, actually, we don't have that.
I've been here before and I've definitely had it here, so.
Oh, okay. I've only been working here for 5 years, so let me just check on that for you. Yeah, no, we don't have it.
Okay, I'll take a shot of Fireball. Cheers.
What would you like?
Hi, I'd like an elderberry liqueur.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you heard, but we don't have that.
Well,
All right, so you have a glimpse of what it does. So what we have on the timeline is few background noise, and each one is stacked up. Obviously, you need to get some of these effects as well, and you can also use stock images and stock assets. I'll talk a bit about this after this. But again, what I have over here is different sound. If I just play some of the solo ones, so just the noise of the background of the pub kind of thing. And then we have another solo, another track of that, mixing that up as well. So you have a few of those, and I'm going to mute those. And now if I play, I have this background music, which is the noise of.
What would you like?
hi.
I'm going to mute that as well. Now, Adobe has made sound editing a bit more easier in terms of how it looks like. So let's say.
Oh, okay. I've only been working here for 5 years, so let me just check on that for you.
Right. So if I zoom in to that particular, clip on the audio, um, and let me change this to audio. So the moment I select any clip, now Premiere asks you whether it's a dialogue, it's a music, the sound effect, or the ambient noise kind of thing, and then you can then decide what you need to do with it. And if I,
Oh, I've only been working here for 5 years, so let me just check on that for you. Oh, okay.
if you see there's a lot of background noise, and I want to make sure that the sound is equalized as well. So very easy to do is just select the audio, go down to dialogue, um, and click on loudness and just say auto match. It will try to match, and you can see that it just pumped the audio up. I'll just say undo again, just say undo, and I'll just redo it. There you go. So you can select the entire track of the audio, then pump it up, and then now if you play, then.
Oh, okay. I've only been working here for 5 years, so let me just check on that for you.
Now, you will see there's a lot of background humming and noise at the back. So again, select that, and then what you can do is say reduce noise, and I'm going to select this and say reduce noise as well. So if you go back now, play this clip.
Oh, okay. I've only been working here for 5 years, so let me just check on that for you.
So you can see that the clips, the denoise hammer, it actually does a big amount of change in the entire set of the clip, right? Again, if I off that,
Oh, okay. I've only been working here for 5 years.
right? So hopefully you are able to see the difference. If you have any kind of noise, you can use that. And if you want to further enhance, you can reduce the rumble and dehammer as well. Over here, I didn't have to use it, but if you want, you can turn it on. And then obviously,
Oh, okay. I've only been working here for 5 years, so let me just check on that for you.
so the audio becomes a much more clearer than what it was before. Again, great control, easy, and then you can just play with the noise factors and increase and pump it up. But most of the time, whenever I see default of 5 or 6 works quite well. So you can then apply this to might be the entire track as well. So you can just zoom out and map that across, and then say audio auto, and then see the amount of and then you can see that.
Thank you.
Cheers.
What would you like?
Hi. I'd like an elderberry liqueur.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you heard, but we don't have that.
Well, I've actually been.
Right. So you get the idea there, what you can do with this. And this becomes easier. So I want to show you something else. I just don't want to mix up this track. So what I'll do is jump to another track over here. And if you see, I have the same thing, but this is another clip where
When you're young, you don't think about goals. Your dreams are your goals.
here again, I can do the same thing. Go over here, click on dialogue and say auto match, reduce noise, and it will just play quite nice.
When you're young, you don't think about goals. Your dreams are your goals.
The thing is, if you want to browse for music, obviously, if you have your own set of music, it is great. But if you really want to, get things done faster, then you can actually go back, click on the timeline, and we have under the essential sounds edit under browse. This is using Adobe stock footages, but again, you can just hit the play.
When you're young, you don't think about goals. Your dreams are.
Now you can play different music out here, but then if you want to really go back and choose what kind of music that you are looking for, then you can drill down and then decide you want to use a bit of mysterious, powerful, and what happens is the music will change based on the preferences that you choose from. So that's a great way of doing it. So we have got, classic, film, hip hop, jazz, you name it. So you can have a bunch of what you like to do. So if I just hit the play over here,
When you're young, you don't think about goals. Your dreams are your goals.
all right, a minute. Yeah, so once you have this, I can actually take whatever music that I like. If I just bring it down to the timeline, just want to showcase to you that it has brought the clip to the timeline. And I'm playing that right now.
When you're young, you don't think about goals.
And what I like to do is, how do I need to make sure that the audio volume is trimmed based on when the person speaks? So basically, if you can see, I need to make sure the audio is trimmed. So let's go back. Let me make this bigger and let's increase that. There you go. Now, if I go back and choose edit, and if I take this audio, and if I say music, then there are a few things in music that you can do. Sometimes your music or jingle that I brought in, sometimes it does not fit the entire timeline. Then you can actually expand the duration of it. You can stretch it if you want, just do it a few seconds. But you can stretch around about 20%, not more than that. So if it is 1 minute 18, I think I can stretch it, might be 120. So it just stretched it up, but it automatically finds out the rhythm
You don't think about goals.
and it will expand it.
Your dreams are your goals.
So you have that playing. That's not a problem. But what I want to do next is basically go back and do audio ducking. So what audio ducking allows you to do is, wherever the person is speaking, the audio over here will automatically tone the background music, and it will go further in terms of how it is. So first, what I'll do is I'll just tone a bit down of the audio music in the first place, I don't want it that loud. So if I hit the play,
When you're young, you don't think about goals.
right. So, and then I will select, go down here and choose audio ducking. Wait for a few seconds and
When you're young,
sorry, it did not do. Give me a minute. Generate keyframe. Sorry, I didn't press generate keyframe. Oh, there you go. It has already done it. So let's go back here. And if you can see, let me just zoom into this part where you can see that it has automatically generated keyframe based on where the person is speaking. It automatically goes down. Right now, you would have actually had to do it manually using the browser. So if I go over here and select the same keyframe down here, and you go down to FX control, you would see all the keyframes created right now, right? So if I go over here, I can then manually turn it upside down. If I let me play this now again.
when you're young, you don't think about goals. Your dreams are your goals. Adventure is all around you.
Right. So you get the idea that you can use audio ducking in terms of how you can bring your clip down, and you can save a lot of time on that as well. So again, a great way of doing things as well. So let me just jump back to assembly and let's look at projects. And what I'm going to do is do one more thing. That is, oops. Let me go back to editing. Right. What I'm going to do is I have this text over here, and most of the time you might have to create subtitles for that frame. So let me, oh wow, what am I doing? Right. So over here, you might need to create subtitles for
When
the
you're
text.
young, you don't.
And for creating subtitles, it takes a lot of time keying in the text, and I'm going to talk about subtitles separately as well. So what you can do is you can automate some of this process if you want subtitles or captioning. So if I go click on captioning and graphics, again, I have that over here under hmm, okay. Let me go back and reset the workspace. Right. So over here I've got transcript. So the entire voiceover can be done as a transcribe. And then you will have the text with the time code available for you so that you can have the subtitles on. So if I just click on transcribe sequence, what it does is it'll ask you English, yes. If you want speakers to be separate, you can have multiple speakers speaking as well. If it's a mixed audio, you can choose and then just click on transcribe. So what it does is it goes back and it will transcribe the entire text up. Wait for a few seconds. For this, it goes to the cloud and then transcribes, just to let you know. So over here right now, if you can see, when the person starts speaking, let me zoom in.
When you're young, you don't think about goals. Your dreams are your goals.
At any given point of time, if you, you have your transcribe, you can actually export it as a CSV file if you want. That's not a problem. Now, if I want the captions back over here, you can see on the timeline that I have the video, but I do not, I need to add that in. So go back to captions and say create captions from the transcription that you just created. So just click on create captions from transcription. Over here, you have multiple choice. If you're doing for broadcast, then you'll be using some of the standards up here. But right now we're going to use it for YouTube or some of those processes. Then go over here, choose subtitle default, and say create captions. Now it is generating the captions, and you can see the time code in which each of this caption comes in. And there you are. So if you feel that you want to edit some of the text over here, you can select anywhere and then type in, goals. And, you can go ahead and start moving. If you feel that this is supposed to end at a particular part, you can actually go back and trim any of this actions as well. So you are here, you're jumping over here. That's not a problem. So your dreams are your goals. So this one is quite long. I can trim that as well. Now, at any given point of time, if you want to add anything, and if it has forgot to add any of the text, then you can just click on the text part and then say, um, Hassan is here, and then there you go. So I have that, and I can trim the in and out point as well. So you have all the subtitles that can be done, and it is here. So it's very easy for you to keep track of those things as well. Now, in today's world, whenever you're creating any content, there's a higher chance that you want you need to have some subtitles and really not subtitles. You have some text, opening sequence, and other things. You can also use uh, Adobe to create some of those things, right? So let's go back, not use this project, use another one. That is going to be, let's take let's take that. Right. So just imagine if I want some text and text animation. What you can do is obviously, drag, create a rectangular box down here, and there you go. I have that. Okay, click on the text tool. So over here, you can see in the graphics that you have created a shape, and then I can create text and then type in. Right, and then I can decide on whatever fonts that you want to use. You can choose between bold. All the fonts are available for you to look at and play with. Um, you can move, center it around. I think I'll just scale that a bit more. There you go. There. Select the shape, go back, move this down a bit more. There you go. I'm going to right click and actually duplicate that and move that down. And I'm going to bring that just over here. This can be might be slightly red in color. Um, and might be this shape, let me make this slightly. Okay, I just want to make that slightly smaller. There you go. Right. Then I'm going to add one more text down at the bottom and say systems. Click on that, drag over here, bring that down. Might be that text color is white. There you go. You have that. And so you're creating one, lower thirds down here, and obviously, you can then save it into a library and then pass it around. Before doing that, you can do something else as well. You want to make sure that this can be used by a lot of other people who are editing the same timeline, or then sharing it with multiple people. So basically, I can say that uh, no, this shape um, I'll make it a responsive design, and I'll choose Nelson, and then it should be fitting between the widths. So at any given point of time now, if I go over here, uh, click on the text, and if I add anything extra, actually you can see that it will expand as well, based on that. So uh, that's great. You can also do that for the other one as well, saying this shape is then tied up with Adobe system, left and right. You can do that. If you want to animate it further, I don't know how many of you done animation. You can have multiple clips, voice animation, or you can have an animation done right over here, and then make sure that you are using this again and again, multiple times. In the interest of time, what I will do is I'll open this up and I'll say that I would like to might be take the position and scale. Or let's do one thing. Let's take the entire thing of the motion and then do a swipe. So let's select that and say that I would like to save the position over here. Um, in animation, most of the time it is better to save where you want it to be at the final place. And I'll say I would save a key over here. So there's no animation yet to happen down there. Um, so let's say I would also want it to dissolve. So I'll go down and I will add a key on the opacity as well, two places. Then I'll flip back, then add another opacity. So nothing happening so far. So I want the whole thing to move from the left. Then I can actually say move from the left and take it to the side, right? And now if I hit the play, it's too long. Drag this, bring it short. Okay, there you go. It comes in. Might be I also want the dissolve to happen down here, so I'll make it almost 100%. So there you go. So it goes, it comes back in, and then actually you can copy that dissolve somewhere around here and say that it dissolves at the end somewhere around here, and I add another key and dissolve it back. There you go. So you have a simple animation that is there, working quite well. Now, I don't know how many of you know about libraries, and I'm sure you must be using libraries through Photoshop, Illustrator, and all of those as well. So libraries are a part of Creative Cloud that is having linked to a lot of different places. So if I go back and look for Illustrator or Photoshop or right from within here, I have libraries. So this is the library. So these are different set of libraries, and I have got different set of more cards that I already have. So at any given point of time, if I want to use anything as an animation and I want to save this up, all I need to do is just click, drag, and drop that inside here, and it will just work fine. So if I say click, drag, drop, and I have the Mogart, just give it a second. Let's enter. Okay, wait, I know why this is running. Um, so just give it a few seconds, guys. It's not the Mogart, is the effect at the bottom that is giving the yeah, is rendering is taking so long. I'll tell you about that. So let's talk about that, and let me delete that in a while. So over here I have this frame, right? So okay, the animation is done. I'll continue with the Mogart in a minute. So I have an effect. I just wanted to showcase to you. Most of the time, whenever you shoot, sometime you can see that the shot is a bit shaky, right? And this happens whenever you're on the go, and if you do not have a stabilizer. And then so Premiere Pro has got its own stabilizer. So what happens is if you have a clip, what I've done is gone down to effects. So this is another effect that I wanted to showcase to you um, based on time, but let's anyhow do it. So under video effects, you have got um, there's something called as wrap stabilizer. Now in the FX control, I've already given the wrap stabilizer, so that's why because the rendering does take some time. But I'll turn this off for a while, and you can still see that this is shaky, right? The whole thing is shaky around it. But I'll just click, drag, and drop this over here. I think it should run quite fast. It will just analyze all the frames. But remember, when you're doing this, you can still work on something else. As long as your computer is fast enough, it will try to analyze. Now, after analyzing, you can see that the entire image is quite stable, right? There is no much shake at all. So what it has done is very simple. On the stabilization part, just choose smooth motion. And then over here on the framing side, you have got, if I say stabilize only, let's have a look. I don't know how much of you can see that. You can see this black borders at the side. And if I hit the play, right? So it's there. And if I say stabilize and crop, you can see the sides cropped up. So automatically it tries to tell you that these are the pixels that you're losing. And then I'm saying stabilize, crop, and auto scale. It automatically scales that part. And then I do not have those pixels at all. And it does a very good job. So the same if you see over here, that's the actual shake that you will find when you are viewing the screen again. The shake is quite obvious, and I'll make that full screen. You can see there's a whole bunch of shake, and the following clip you will see is quite small. So motion stabilization works quite well as well. Okay, and that's the one that was taking a bit of time. Let me delete this part of the clip, and I don't want that as well. And let's jump back to our um, captions, graphics. Yeah, so you have your templates, and you can actually bring in some of your files from your libraries, right? So no, where's the libraries? Let's go back to libraries. So you have your library. So if you want any kind of text all over third, all you need to do is just drag from any of the files that you have, and then use them directly, right? So if I go over here, drag this up, wait for a few seconds, click over here, you can see that the animation comes in, pops, and then the first name, last name comes up. Now here, if I want to make it your own, because I'm just dragging it from a library, I can go down to edit essentials. And if you look over here, the first name is there. I can just double click and then, you know, go back and change the name to whatever I want. And then I'm reusing these mogarts, right? So these are called mogart. So what I did just now, if I want to save this and then I want everybody else to use it, that means you need to have a library, right? So libraries can be easily created. Just in case if you do not know, you can just say create a new library, and you can think about various ways in which you can share this library with a lot of people, right? 1 minute. Okay, sorry, just got a call. So I can just say video assets, and then I'll say create. So I have that. And this, I can then try to save this asset down there as well. So I can just say export as motion graphic template. Now, when I export it, I can also save it on my local folder, so I can use it in multiple projects if I want to, as well. And I can just type in, name and company, and then you can write description as well. You can also go back, save it on your local drive, or you can also look for video assets right at the bottom. I can say I want to save it down there. And if I say OK to it, I have that. Can you see that? So now if I'm opening up any other project that I want to work with, and all I need to do is just click, drag, drop that, and then I have it ready to go. Okay, so you should be able to, right, give me a minute. I don't know, why can't I see that? But all right, I don't know why I can't see that, but yeah, should be able to see that. Give me a minute. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, it was out of the screen. I just had to wait for the animation to play. Yeah, so I can just drag and drop whenever I want. Now, the good part is inside Adobe, we also have something that you can take care of. Is if I going back to captions and library, and under browse, you have Adobe stock. So uh, you can look for all those out here, but you can also go back and look at some free ones. If I choose free ones as well, you have a whole bunch of lower thirds that Adobe gives out that you can, yeah, use. As long as you select and move your cursor in, you should be able to see all those different set of lower thirds that you can use. And if you like anything, all you need to do is download it, and then then you can use it as well, or click to move it as well, or you can do a search lower third, and then you can find a whole bunch of lower thirds that you want to use. So again, when you click over here, you can see an animation, and I've chosen the free one as well. Obviously, there are the paid ones as well that you can try to play with. Wait, I just give it a few seconds for it to load so that you can play that as well. Oops. right. It's taking his own sweet time to play. Okay, let's just drag this. This is from Premiere, from After Effects. So if I go back, drag this, and if you see a red line or indicator, that means this content is coming straight from After Effects. So you can create lower thirds in After Effects, and whoa, sticking. Okay, there you go. So if you see that, click on motion. You know and I can also scale that up. Right, there you go. Now for all of this, the text goes here. I can just say, Adobe Premiere Workshop, and if I go back and I can say, you are able to key in all the details over here. So as soon as you do this, this is done in After Effects, where you can actually compile, and then you can see all the changes what you did comes up here. So and the animation plays quite well. You see that these are like fade in, fade out, and you come in, you can get it done as well. So you have your lower thirds in Premiere. You also have your lower thirds done in After Effects, and you can bring any of them from within here. And remember, once you create your own, you can also save them right inside your library, which can then be used for sharing with your team members. So at any given point of time, if I go in, I have that. But over here, to just show you, I have a Mogarts, which is called the lower thirds, and I have a whole bunch of them, right? So you can have your graph, pie charts as well. All those can animate as well. So again, these are a whole bunch of different ones that I want you to have a look. See, it has the animation, all can be changed. And then you also have pie charts, click, drag, drop. Wait for a few seconds. You have that. You can select and then go down to essentials, and then you have the line control, and then plays, and it gives you the line graph. There you go. That's the thing. And then you have got data control as well, and you also have control on the data. So you can do a whole bunch of things right from within here. So creating lower thirds is much more easier, and then sharing them is also great. And sharing the library with the other colleagues, just in case, it's very simple. You can just click on the plus sign, and then you are able to share some of the assets. You can also share content based on stock footages. So you have got stock over here. So if I feel that I want to look for adventure, then I have all this adventure stock 4K, and if I want to save it to the library, I can just say you want 4K, just say HD, and HD is good enough. So there you go, I have that. Now I can find something similar, or I can license the video if you need to. And there's some free videos as well that you can go back, and then I can just drag and drop some of those files as well on how you want this content to be added, right? So this was a bit of stuff, but the lower thirds are great to use, and it is very useful as well. One other thing that I want to talk about will be down here. Let's go back to uh, motion graphics. Right. All right, I have this. So I have this clip we brought in, we did the edit. It all looks cool. But suddenly you need to export it, and you want to make sure that you have different ways in which you want to export. One option is, the fastest way is down here, quick export. But the other way is to click on Command M, and it will jump straight to the export tab over here. So you have the media file, then you can choose what format or what codec you want to export on. Obviously, H.264 is the very standard one, the famous one in terms of usage. You can match the source formatting settings if you wish to very easily. And then if you want to send it up to YouTube directly, you can sign in to the account as well. And I can turn this on. Once you have turned this on, then you want to see in what bitrate you want to send any of them. And you can also go down detail in terms of more presets, and then you have really a whole bunch of preset right from ProRes photo to any of those formats that you want to send out to is already available to you as well. Now, looking at this, I thought about one thing that I didn't showcase is that you have edited this way, and then if I feel that I want to edit to Facebook or Instagram, any of those, and you want to make sure, and if you have a long timeline and you want to get the same footage out, then you will be doing double work in terms of how you do this. Now you can actually right click over here and then say, auto or reframe sequence. This is great as well. So once you click on this, it will create a copy, and what format do you want? You want it vertical, horizontal, you can choose that. And if you are having a lot of fast motion sequences, then you can choose faster motion, or the slow motion. You can have multiple copies. So remember, when you do this, when it converts, it does not actually spoil your actual timeline. It will create a new sequence from it, and then it will create it. So I have that done. Don't nested clips will replace the current motion adjustment. But if you have transition and all, it will be removed. So if I just go over here and say create, it goes back and it has created a square sequence. Now this is square, and if you can see when I play back, um, I have the entire person in focus. So most of the time you need to do double work. If you're doing it manually, then you need to reposition because it's just square, and then you need to make sure that everything is in place. So here this shot looks good. Here this shot is automatically looking good. Most probably I might change a bit on that. Moving forward, here it goes off, but then still not bad, still in focus, right? So what it has actually done is, let's go back to the editing part of it. Now, this, if you see auto reframe, right? So if I select any of these clips, uh, automatically the motion is applied to auto reframe, right? And the effect is on, right? So each of this clip has been automatically reframed, and if you want to manually do it, you can also do that. So if you see the last shot over here, this looks good still. This is still okay, but here might be I want to change a bit more. So I can go over here on that and then position or scale that a bit down. See, the image is so huge, right? All I need to do is position it so that I get the part of the kit as well. And then I am positioning both of that, right? So you can then do that animation down here, right? So this becomes easy in terms of doing the final output. Okay. Now, let me just go back to the actual one. This is the actual one. Now, once you do your edit, might be there are multiple stakeholders who wish to go back and look at and review this content. Now, this is where I would want to send it to somebody to review it. So what we have in Creative Cloud is something called as Frame.io. So over here, you can go back and click on review. Exactly jumps to that. And once you have logged in, you have access to some part in which you can upload this. For this, most probably Chetan will be explaining a lot more to you. But what I would like to do is make sure that send this clip to him so that he can give some comments on what I need to do further to enhance my timeline. So obviously he will be talking more about sharing and all of those. I'll just click now right on upload. So it'll ask you whether you want to upload the active sequence. Say yes, and I'm going to say uh, rev motion 1, and you can choose the resolution. Is it the whole sequence? You can also run it to scratch disk. And the moment I click on upload, so yeah, before I do this, I just need to do one more thing. So I need to make sure that I'm sharing this project with Chetan, all right? Chetan, your email ID.
CSHAH@adobe.com.
CSHAH@adobe.com. Right. C-Shah@adobe.com. So I'm going to add him so that he's able to view and send. So I'm going to send the invite to him. I've added him to the project, and now I'm going to just say upload and add active sequence. Say upload. So once you click on upload, what it does is Adobe Media Encoder opens up and it will render the sequence. Stopped. 1 minute. Can I? Something stopped. I'll upload another active sequence, sorry. So once this goes in, right. So it has gone up to Chetan, and Chetan will be able to review this part of the content. And I've actually shared with two other person. One is Rohan, who can be sitting anywhere, and that person just needs a browser if he doesn't have Creative Cloud to do it. So I'll pass it to Chetan so that he'll be able to talk more about it, about Frame.io, and how you can do share, review, and what is Frame.io all about. He'll be doing that. Chetan, back to you. I'm sure this is just finishing upload, and you should be able to pass comments over there. Let me stop sharing.
Thank you, Nelson. Just a quick time check. How much time I have got?
You have 15-20 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes, so I'll have to make it quick. Okay. What we'll be covering in next 15 to 20 minutes is many of those your field problems or day-to-day operational problems when you are working on a particular project and you are waiting for so many things. So let's look at how it starts. Means the crew has gone out for you are waiting for that material to come back, so you can start editing the particular piece, and then once you start editing, next you will have to share those media with your different stakeholders. So you will again start in a wait state where people will send you feedback, how it works, and what all changes are required, kind of thing. And once you have made changes, again, you will wait for people to confirm whether those are okay or not. And so many these back and forth where you're waiting for so many things, whether it's a footage or it's comments or approval before you send that this out for the social media publishing, or maybe for the broadcast purpose, or even if you use it for film, maybe you may want to send it for your digital projections and all. So Frame.io actually solves many of these problems, because all this waiting is either because you are physically transporting those media files on a hard disk from shoot location to the post-production suite, or you are sending out low-res videos to your colleagues or other stakeholders for their comments. And when the comment comes back, those are pretty weird, because they typically send you a screenshot, or maybe they will say, okay, it's so-and-so time code, please remove so-and-so things, or please add so-and-so things. All those kind of communication happens, and for editor, it's a big challenge. So these are some of the things which most of the time industry professionals uses. They use different kind of review and approval mechanisms, platforms. They use file transfer applications, which transfers the very high large video files from one location to other via cloud services. You communicate via various things. I don't know how much WhatsApp is common in Malaysia, but in India, it's very, very popular. People uses WhatsApp for all the kind of communication, whether it's personal or business. They will take a screenshot, or they will just render a very tiny proxy file, share it over these communication channels, and wait for the feedback. So all these things are solved by Frame.io. Frame.io is a unified platform, cloud platform, which allows you to collaborate, send your footage for review and approval. And the newest workflow which we have developed last year is camera to cloud. So what happens now is when you start shooting, you can actually have your cameras equipped with Frame.io certified, Frame.io supported hardware along with that. So if you're using digital cinema cameras like Arri or Red, there are hardware attachment for that, which from Teradek and Atmos, which you can connect it with that and get the footage right from shoot location to your editing desk quickly. I've done a couple of videos I've already uploaded while Nelson was doing demo his part. So these are some of the footage which I've shot during the presentation, which started a few 1.5 hours back. So this was shot at 7:41 a.m. India time. So this was when Nelson started his first topic. And if I do the same right now, I have a Filmic Pro app on my phone. If I shoot this particular new video, which is on my iPad, right now I'm shooting my iPad, and the moment I say cut, it will downscale the clip and upload that particular proxy file to start with to the Frame.io cloud. You can see the one which I just shot is already available from my phone to my laptop via my Frame.io cloud services. So this is as quickly as you can get your videos to the editing desk. One more thing I would like all of you to do is, if you can scan this particular QR code, this will give you access to a particular folder I've created for this today's presentation. So you will be part of the complete process. You can experience how easy, how efficient and quickly you can share the media for your previews or for collaboration purpose, and many other workflows you can develop using Frame.io. So let me just go back to the Frame.io part. As I mentioned, means it offers multiple functionality within the one particular unified platform. It has got a accelerated file transfer algorithm. So whenever you upload or download the files from Frame.io, it transfers it at a very high speed. So you don't need any extra file accelerator to upload the files to the cloud services, the cloud storage, and then get it back. It also acts as a work in progress asset management system. I'll show you that in a moment. It offers you the real-time collaboration between various stakeholders. So whereas and when, in case if you guys have seen, if you have opened that particular folder, you will see one clip there, which I uploaded half an hour back. This is the one which you should be able to see. If you can double click on that, whether it's on your phone or on your laptop, you should be able to see this particular clip. So this is the primarily viewer in the browser for Frame.io clips. When I share this for review and comments, you double click on the icon, you get this big viewer with playback control. Your comment area where you can comment with text, annotation tools, or even emoji sometime if you want to use that. Nelson has already shared his first comment. Yes, sky is not good. We'll try to see if we can have another take for the same news bite, or we can fix it in post. So this is how you can start putting the notes. You can jump to those notes as and where you want to put that. You can put notes either on a frame, or you can put notes on a range of frames. Makes life much easier. I can use, say for example, I can use this one of those annotation tool as well. No logo. And you'll see that all those comments are, I'm receiving it in real time, and same goes for Nelson as well. Can some of you guys scan this and using your phone and put the comments to see how easy it is for you to share the comments? I'll give you a few seconds to do that.
Chetan, you're muted.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Chetan.
Okay, sorry. So can you hear me now?
Yeah,
can you hear me? Okay, sorry
Yes.
for that.
Yes.
I don't know how it got muted, but anyway, so let me go back to my Frame.io screen. So what Frame.io does is your clips, it will, when you drag and drop into this, say for example, like this, if I'm not using camera to cloud, but if I'm using from my, sharing some of the clips from my laptop, I can just drag and drop here. It will upload at very high speed using those file accelerators. And once the upload is over, you should be able to see all these clips with multiple proxy, up to 4 proxy versions created along with that. So for example, this clip is a 4K clip. And when I come here and look at the quality, I have option of viewing a full 4K, or I can view it in any other proxy version. So this helps two ways. One, you don't need to wait for the proxy creation. Frame.io creates that in the background for you. Second is you can use this for your whatever devices you are using and whatever network connection you have. Based on that, you can select that. And of course, for during the post-production, you can actually, if you're using it for offline and sending the video for online to some other grading system, you can actually download the proxy files, which are much smaller, create your, finish your edit. And once the edit is over, you can send your XML or EDL to the finishing system to finish the job. So proxy helps in multiple ways. You don't need to create proxies at location to share that via cloud services. Frame.io does that automatically. You can also share the higher is your original media file. Frame.io doesn't touch any of your original media file. It creates parallelly those proxies, which you will see when you get into your viewer or in your Premiere Pro or After Effects. You have a few more controls. Of course, you have the real-time all things and a lot of all the comment history comes up here with more controls, like if you're completing the task or if you want to reply to those people, all those things are there. We'll not go into those details. We'll keep it for some other time. Maybe we'll do a proper 2 hours workshop for Frame.io for you guys where you can actually start using this, using the same. So once you have this, all the comments and all, the next step comes up is let's start working on the particular footage. And how I start doing it, go to the Premiere Pro. If you are running a latest Premiere Pro, you will have a Frame.io panel built in. The extension is already there as a part of the new build. Or if you are running an older version of Premiere Pro, you can go to the Frame.io and go to the integration Frame.io integration page, and you can download the extensions for various content creation systems. So it's not just limited to Premiere Pro or After Effects. That is not just limited to Adobe softwares, but also some of the other commonly used softwares in the industry. And we have quite a few integration with other third-party softwares and hardwares to make sure that your workflow, you can use it very effectively. Okay, let's since we are running out of time, let's quickly go back to Frame.io. So when you log into Frame.io, before I take you to the Premiere Pro and show you the actual demo how you use that. So this is the way you create. It gives you all the 4 proxy versions as well as original as well. When you log in, these are the various teams you are part of all your projects. It's very simple, easy to use interface. Teams you are part of, either your own team or you are invited for specific projects in different teams. This is the team I am into right now, and these are the various projects me and my 180 colleagues have created for various demos and testing purpose and all. And in each of these, either I can have an open project. That means all my team members can view that. On support.premiere.com, you can find the roles. You can go and check it out, different roles for different people. So based on the team members, whether I want them to give access or restricted, I can keep even restricted also. So in your case, for example, film school can create one team, which is a big, for example, let's take a look at this this film festival, create a big folder for that, and then create multiple teams with restricted access. So in this case, only me, who has created this particular project, and people whom I have invited will have the access to that. For example, right now there is no one invited to this. If I invite Nelson, it's N John.
Yeah, it's NJOHN at adobe.com.
JOHN, yes.
Yeah.
So I can invite him as a collaborator, or I can invite him as a team member. Since he's part of my company, I can make him even a team member as well. Team member has got more functionality. They can and more actions they can take when they're working on that. Or if I make him just a collaborator, then he will have a restricted functionalities. However, what happens here is when I invite people, say for example, here I've invited Nelson and Albert. If I go and see, I've got Nelson as a team member, but Albert as a collaborator only. So what will happen? Albert can have access to all those medias. He can download, upload the medias to various folders, use it in a editing system, and do so and so, but he cannot share or add the team new members to the project. Only team members or admin can create new projects or add new members to the project, and likewise kind of thing. Other thing is you can actually practically share any type of media files via this cloud storage. Like for example, here I've got videos, I've got PDFs, I've got graphics files like Photoshop or Illustrator files. I've got motion graphics template Mogarts as well, but Mogarts are not supported with the preview, so you can't see that. So the idea is you can have one place where you have all your material which is available to all your stakeholders as and when they need and wherever they are and from whichever device they are working on. So for example, right now, let me show you one other interface here is I'll show you my iPad version of the app. So can you see this? Can someone confirm, because it blacks out my main display? Nelson, can you see my iPad view? Okay.
No,
anyway, so you can see actually the iPad on the, you can see the same interface on iPad as well, where you can, or on your phone as well, where you can see any of this media and you can do the exact same way the review and approval, review and comments the way we are doing with the laptop. Let's go quickly to the Premiere Pro. So for example, here, let's look at the one which we have created. So just to show you that I can have access to the same cloud device, which is all the videos which I have shot today during the presentation. All various videos are there, which I can have access to. I can double click, I can play, I can see all those, I can preview that. And same way, I have option of selecting the frame resolution as well. If there are any comments on that and any particular video, I will see those comments here as well. So let's look at this folder, which where we have 4 files, and this particular video where multiple comments are there. So if I go and click on that, I can see all those comments here, right here on my timeline. If I jump to that, it will take me to that particular frame, and it will say that Nelson has shared the sky is not good, or he said logo missing, or I said no logo. If I want, I can go and see the same thing in my comment view as well. And these comments, I can download it to my timeline also when I start using this particular clip. So let's look at what happens next is, for example, I've got this timeline. I'm working on this timeline, and now I want to send this to you guys for review. So Nelson has already shown you that I will send this. Okay, let me also do one thing. Let me put okay, let's, I wanted to put marker, but it's going on the clip actually. So marker on anyway, we'll see that during the bigger workshop. So what I can do is I will name it as edit one. I'll say, okay, 720p is fine, and upload. You have seen Nelson has shown you that it will pick our media encoder, it will render the particular file, timeline, it will upload that. So if I come back here, I will see that file which Premiere is still uploading. I can see the same thing in my browser also, the file is getting uploaded. Once it creates the thumbnail, all of you should be able to see this as well. If you want to do that, just go back in case if you have missed this, just scan the QR code. It will take you to the same folder, and you will have access to this file as well. Can some of you guys can put some comments so we can continue with that? Nelson, you want to put some comments on this? Actually, I could have done that using this marker. On this marker, I can put some information or some communication back to all of you guys. What I want you to do that. So when I upload the active sequence, if you see that export marker as comment, so if I put any marker here and if I put any comments, that will go as a comments in this particular clip when you review it. Can anyone put some comments?
No, Chetan, just show me the barcode again.
So the moment Nelson sends those comments, I will see that in real time here on my comment history. And at the same time, I should be able to see it here on my thumb view as well as the view as well. So I have one comment, which is sound is loud. Okay, I can see it in this. Since this clip is also linked with the active sequence, it will give me a different icon on the clip as well. So let me just go to that particular folder. And yeah, so you can see this icon says link to the active sequence. That means if that sequence is loaded into the timeline, when I click on this, it will actually jump to that particular location. So you can see that all these comments Zen, Sam, Nelson has put, I can directly jump to that particular point frame. And I know that Nelson wants some color correction, some adjustments here, or that's a testing, sound is loud. What I can do is now, next, if I want, I can download all the comments, import all the comments to my timeline. So when I say import comments, it will actually bring in all those comments as markers on my timeline. So if I go to my marker menu, I should be able to see all those markers here. So various markers and other things you will be able to see when you come back to the timeline. All these markers can be used as a communication channel between you and various stakeholders as well. Or in case, for example, sometimes if I want to send a particular clip to Nelson Nelson to do certain work on that. Say, for example, Nelson is my VFX artist and I need to remove certain glare or some glitch. Say, for example, if I want to remove this particular glare, I can actually send this clip to Nelson via this cloud services Frame.io, and he can finish the job and put it back into the same, and I can pick it up and finish the job. So once, say, for example, I'll just add one to make it more visually clear. I will use the auto color. I'm not an editor like Nelson. I'm just a business guy. So what I will do is I will use some of the quick tools to create a nice looking video. And once I've done that, I'll say, okay, let me send this back to Nelson for his review. So this time I will keep this auto version on. So once I say end, if I put all these comments markers to go back as a comment tagged on, you will see all those 4 will be coming up in your video as well. So let's see, it has gone up. Its export is over. It is uploading. It's a quick upload because I'm using a file accelerator on FreeMio side. So it's uploading at 32 megabits per second transfer speed, full throttle. And one thing you have noticed is now, since I've kept that version, auto version on, it has actually stacked up both the versions. So I've got version 1 and 2 both here. If I go to my review browser mode, I can see the same way here. When I click on that, I've got option 2. So all those comments have come as a part of those markers, has come as a part of the comments here. I can jump to any of those comments, or if I go to the menu here, I can select 1 or 2, or I can actually see both the versions side by side. So sometimes you are making color decisions and you want to make sure the first version or second version, how it looks, what difference means, whether it will help you primarily to take your decisions. And also you can have a number of versions here stacked up, and you can pick up any 2 of those for your comparison purpose. So yeah, that's how the entire process works. When you look at while sharing, for example, if I want to share this video again with someone, I've got few controls here. Like when I share, I can share it with some additional security measures. Like I can send it as an invite only, so only people who receives the invitation will have access to that. I have another set of parameters where I can say allow them to download or not, or I can say link expiry also. So for example, the one which I've used, I'll say, okay, let's this link will expire in next 2 minutes. And I can put even a watermark also with my, so watermark is whoever is looking at that particular, reviewing that particular clip, their name and email ID and other details will appear on the screen. So that helps even if someone is taking a screen recording using the phone or some other camera, those watermarks will appear all the time, kind of thing. And of course, I can have a work in progress kind of various things, whether I need review, approved. So for example, if I say this is approved, it will put this as an approved tag here. And when I come back to my main view browser, it will show me approved here. Same way it goes and shows me approved in my this Premiere Pro view as well. In case if you don't see that, just refresh the extension and it will show you that. Same if I go to After Effects, I will be able to see in After Effects as well. So for example, let me just update it, refresh it. So I should be able to see TUFF folder here. And all those videos are available to review in this as well. So I can see all my cloud footage, the videos which I shot during the presentation. Then I can go back to media folder and I should be able to see here TUFF folder, Film Festival folder, all those media with all the comments, everything is available here. And same way like you did in Premiere Pro, you upload the active com and send it for review and take the feedback back. The last thing before we close this session from my presentation, one, you always get notifications about who has done what on this. So whichever device you are on, you can configure it for your phone, for your iWatch. You get all your notifications wherever you are. And the last part I would like to show you is in case if you have to hand over this project to someone else. For example, if I have to hand over this project to you guys to finish it, what I can do is since the medias are already I've downloaded from the same project, all I need to do is upload project file. So when I do the upload project file, Premiere Pro will create a project file for this particular project, and PR Pros file will be uploaded onto the same folder. So now from your side, you can download this Premiere Pro project file, link all those media, and continue working on the project. So yeah, this is in short what we have seen is the cloud-based unified one single platform for your collaboration for creative collaboration or for asset sharing and all. Work in progress asset management system where multiple people can have access to the same footage. They can work on that without affecting other people's work or access. You can send your videos for real-time feedback. So people on the other side, wherever they are, whichever device they are using, when they are connected to internet, they can access the footage, access the video, put their comments and send it back. And of course, it has got excellent integration with third-party software also. So it allows you to integrate with cameras, integrate with storage devices, app systems, automation systems, and a lot of other things. I would definitely to look forward to do a larger, bigger session where you can actually start testing this, because I'm sure for your projects, you must be using DSLR or professional cameras, which you can take it out on a film, shoot, come back and start editing. So now that part, camera to cloud, you can actually shorten that time to start working on those footage with camera to cloud while they're still shooting. And of course, using the real-time review and feedback, you can get your feedback quickly from your faculty members or mentors or your from team members. So yeah, that's it from my side. It was very quick, but I thought this was still useful for you, especially with the film students, people who are making films for whether it's a social media or for projects from the college, or even you're in professional life when you move into the field to create your videos for various other purposes. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Chetan Shah and also Mr. Nelson John. That whole session was indeed informative for us. So now it's the Q&A session. We will be taking the question which the participants has posted on Slido. To those who have not posted your question, you may still do so now. Okay, so the first question, do we need to credit if we use the background music from Adobe? Will we face copyright issue, or is the music in the essential sounds copyright safe?
Right, take that, Chetan. Yeah, so the essential sound, any stock footages that you're downloading, if it is not free, then they need to have license those stock footages for sure. Yes.
Okay, the second question is the text animation or warping possible in Premiere Pro?
The text animation? Yes.
Warping.
Warping.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can do text animation inside Premiere. There is no stoppage to that. So if I did objects, you can also do animation. I cannot focus too much on animation today. Just showed you the basic on how you can do animate. But if you want to animate using text and all of those, is easily possible in Premiere Pro. Not an issue.
All right. So another question is, when we transfer our file to an older version of Adobe Premiere Pro, will the edited sequence get affected, as in the quality and all the editing that we did?
Wow. I don't think so. You can bring it back to an older version. Because sometimes you might be using some of the effects which are there on the newer side of it, and then it would not be able to open it. But I would ask, why is it that you want to open up from a newer version to an older version? Anybody who asked the question, can you, tell me why do you want to go to an older version? Because obviously, it will have issues, but I just want to know why do you want to do that? Because you already installed a newer version, right? Now, so if you can add a question to it, that will be great.
Yeah, I think it's because some of us, when we share the file, when we do some assignment, then we need to pass the file to another person, and then that person don't have the latest version of Adobe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but we wouldn't
Yeah,
expect that
just
all
one.
of. Yeah, go ahead,
Nelson,
Chetan.
one question. Since now it's a subscription model, so whether you are on old or new, you always have access to the latest software version. So why do you still want to continue with the older version? Because new version brings in a lot more new features, functionalities, as well as newer workflows. So we'll definitely recommend you, all the students, to use the latest software. Anyway, it's a part of your subscription entitlement.
Got it. So another, I think it's probably the last question lah. So nowadays, people prefer editing apps like CapCut and Filmora. Do you think there's difference in outcome between videos edited in Adobe and those other apps?
Chetan, should I take that?
Yeah, so let me put it this way. So when we look at Premiere Pro, it's meant for all the types of users, right from consumer to professional, and we have feature sets available for each of them. For example, for students or for bloggers and all who are creating short videos, or short form video creators who are creating videos and then publishing it on multiple platforms. Premiere Pro offers a quick way to I not say reversion, versioning of that for various platforms with a click of button. There are so many Sensei powered features available with Premiere Pro, which student can use to create finish their projects much quicker, whether it's short form or long form. And also the complete Adobe ecosystem, where you can send videos to After Effects for motion graphics or visual effects, or you send or bring in images from Photoshop to use
Hey,
it
and
into
welcome
your
back to my
short.
channel. I'm Daniel, and today I will show you how you can.
So it helps you a lot when you work within the Adobe ecosystem. And as Nelson mentioned about stock, even if you don't have stock credits, there are thousands of assets available free. So anyone can use it. Those free assets are free for use.
All right. So I think we can take two more questions. Is there any file size limit for in Premiere?
No, we have not. We have seen several gigabyte files also uploaded also. So, but if you have any specific question, we can take it offline for specific file size or specific cameras, because now it allows you to upload 4K proxies as well from digital professional cameras. So it supports large file size as well.
Okay.
Yeah, there's also an app on Frame.io that you can use to upload, and it is quite fast.
Last question for the day. What is the difference between the Mac version and also the Windows version of Premiere Pro, and which is easier and recommended to those beginner?
So I don't think so. There's any difference between Premiere and Mac. Currently, I have a version of Premiere on the cloud, and sometimes I send files from here to sharing to do a live demo if there is no Chetan around, and I do a live demo between a Mac and Windows. So no issues at all in terms of doing anything. At the end of the day, it's all about which machine is faster, if I'm not wrong, and how fast is the machine and how the graphic card works. So that's the only difference that I can find.
Got it. So I think that's all for the Q&A session. So right now, let's take a group picture. So everybody, please turn on your camera so we can take a good picture. All right. Can we have more? Are we taking all this together right now?
No, wait. I'm waiting for everyone.
All right.
Is that it?
Need more.
Okay, here we go. Anybody else? Alicia, your camera is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
giant black screen.
Eh,
This is all we're getting. All right. Okay, one
all
sec.
right. 3,
Smile.
2, yeah.
One sec. Let me make another one for backup reasons. Okay, and everyone, can you pose or smile if you like?
There you go.
Okay, done. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. One final note, the on-campus film screening are taking place tomorrow at 10 a.m. in LT2. The entrance is free, so please do join us there too. On this Friday, we are screening the award-winning film, followed by the award ceremony at Atria Mall, MPO Cinema. Anyone want to join? Please fill in your name in the spreadsheet. It's available in the chat box. So, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have now. We will need to end this wonderful webinar. Again, many thanks to Mr. Nelson John and Mr. Chetan Shah for being our speakers for today and sharing all this amazing knowledge with us. We really appreciate it. And also, thank you so much, everybody, all the participants in this workshop. You simply make this workshop possible. We're so grateful for your active participations. So bye-bye, everybody. Take care and stay safe wherever you are.
Right. Thanks. Bye. Cheers.
Bye.